Okay guys, good afternoon. Just got in from a day's worth of work and want to talk a little bit about soft wash nozzles here. I see a lot of questions about what's the best nozzle. So I've got 5 different ones here I'm going to show you and give you the pros and cons of each one. Now realize I'm more concerned about the distance than the volume of flow. I know there's some new nozzles out that put out a lot of flow. If you're using it for washing a house or something like that with a gas operated unit. But we're using this is a 12 volt, 5.5 Northern tool. I've got my proportioner set full water, the SH, which I've got the bypass valve on, so we're shooting water, set at about 3.5. And it runs around the way. It's not the most optimum setup because it comes out of the proportioner into the pump, and the pump hose runs back around behind my machine over to here. That's the only way I could set it up. 250 feet of a red Curetech, 1/2 inch Curetech right here. Okay? So, this is my go-to nozzle here. This is one of the master stainless steel nozzles. And this is the first nozzle I ever got. If you notice, I got a little leak right there. I need to put a new O-ring in there. But these things are bulletproof. This one's 6 years old. I like it for just day to day. This is one, if you see me doing a driveway, this is one I'm post treating with. It's good for doing walls or stuff like that. I don't necessarily use it a whole lot on the roof, and I'll tell you why. First of all, it's pretty heavy. The main thing is though, and I'll talk about that later some, I like having something that you actually have the squeeze to cut on the water. I know a lot of guys use just a straight PVC pipe with an on-off valve, a J-rod connection at the end, and that's fine. You get good distance with that, stuff like that. What I don't like about it, if you climb up the ladder and it falls off, or it slides off the roof, or something happens to it, then that thing's squirting mix on the people's clients, yard, bushes, and heaven forbid somebody walk by and they get squirted with it. So I like having something I've got to make a positive action to actually cut it on. That's just me. Now I've got a cones out there. That's 37 feet. These units are 12 feet apart, and that sets just past it. And I'm going to show you the difference. Now this, like I said, this shoots good. Its claim to fame is it's supposed to have great distance. Yeah, I think it's good distance. It's not necessarily the best. Now I have used a little on-off. I used to use the big gray ABS ones, the big red handle. Then they had a bad batch, and every 2 weeks it was splitting at the seam. So I switched to these a couple of years ago. Banjo makes these. It's a little bit harder to cut on and off because it's a smaller nozzle here. But there you see. Now this is 5.5 horsepower. Back up. I mean, not 5.5 gallons, 60 psi, and you can see we're shooting right there on that cone, right at it. So it's about 36 feet. Fortunately, there's no wind today. Now the good thing about this, you can adjust it down, and right here. What I don't like about it, there's no flat spray. If you're trying to do it flat, so you're always right there. Now having this, a little adjustment here, I like having this because if I'm standing up on a ladder or something like that, I want to get down right at my feet or something, I can get this thing down to a trickle or something like that. So I do like that. The reason I like having an on-off valve. But it shoots pretty good. It shoots fine. And like I said, this is my go-to. It's bulletproof. You club somebody to death with this cone. Probably weighs about 2 pounds. So, and like I said, it's 6 years old. No rust, no nothing. I got it when I was a member of the RCIA back in those days, and it had you bought it through them, you got like a lifetime warranty on it. It's never been into play. I mean, it's always worked flawlessly. So there's that one. Now here's your standard soft wash gun with the J-rod on it. And you can see this does fine. I do like it because it has a flat spray on the if you're up walking a roof. Now realize I probably get to walk maybe 2 roofs a year. Everybody around here likes having 12 or 14 and 12 pitches. So But this shoots good. Has a nice, like I said, nice flat spray. You know, straight edge instead of a cone. Gets pretty good distance. I mean, that's like, heck, 25 feet on the intermediate there. And this one, you know, you sweep it back and forth on the roof and cover a lot of ground pretty quick. As far as the maximum distance, a little shooter nozzle here. See, it goes out there a little bit further, maybe about a foot. It's right at the 37. It's right all over that cone right there. Get a little wind, maybe a little bit further if you jiggle a little bit, but somewhere right there. Make sure I've lined up my garage door here. So, standard. What I don't necessarily like about this, as everybody knows, you know, you got a new J-rod, man, it's real easy to click it in and out and stuff like that, no problem. But once they get a little wear on them, you're up on a 32-foot ladder on top of it, you're up there trying to get the thing broke loose or something like that. So, you know, there are pluses and minuses to it. Okay, next, show you this one. Now this one, a couple things here. Saw these advertised, you know, they're for rinsing down your boat, salt water and all. That's pretty cool, makes sense, a little plastic nozzle and all that. Well, it doesn't tell you. I said, well, it's made for salt water, it'll work. Well, the nozzle itself, but these little hinge pins, this here, and something on the inside doesn't like SH. It rusts. I mean, I bought 2 of them when I bought them. I said, great, that's super. Bought 2 of them. After I used the first one the first time, you know, I went back out to use it a few days later and things rusted solid. So, the other thing I don't like about it, shoots kind of a funky, shoots distance-wise is good, but it's real sensitive no matter how much you adjust this on the end. See, it shoots. Actually got pretty good distance on it. You know, it shoots out there, that's what, 37, 38 feet there, easy. But see right here, right in this thing, it's hard to, I mean, it's like you move it like a 1/16 of an inch. It goes from there. So it's hard to get a nice sweeping motion with it. Now I do want to show you something else. This Tim Asselton makes these. He does a run periodically, so you got to get them, and they're pretty expensive, about 25 bucks each. Power wash store might have. This screws on any regular standard hose fitting like this, and then you screw it on there, and then you hook your J-rod into it. And that, you know, that makes sense. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. You got the positive action you got to make with a gun like that, but you still get to use the J-rod. If you notice, all mine are made, and the reason because I got that master nozzle, the first nozzle I ever really had, and you know, had garden hose threads on it because he obviously sells this to somebody besides people doing roofs. So what you do, you just get a 1/2 inch to a male garden hose adapter, any hardware store, Home Depot, anywhere. They're about $8 or something like that. And then you can use any kind of hose fitting you want on it. On the ones that don't, like the soft wash gun, you have to get the female for it, screw in the back of your gun. But I like that. I'd recommend everybody do that because it just gives you, you know, unlimited amount of guns, different guns you can use. I'll show you this little thing. This is $1.95 from Ace Hardware. It's called a sweeper nozzle. It only shoots about 2 gallons a minute, but it puts out a nice tight thing. So if it's windy, you can actually, it works pretty good. If you need to reach a peak or something like that. And you also put it on, you know, you always got these standard guns, a lot of people do. You know, you can always put it on the end of that or something if you want a couple extra feet. Let me show you how this thing shoots. See, it shoots a real tight stream. It shoots pretty darn far too. Well, see, it's about 38 feet, 39, maybe almost 40. But see, it doesn't have a lot of mist or anything. It shoots a real tight little stream here. So that's kind of handy if you need a couple extra feet to reach a peak. And then last but not least, this is the one I use 90% of the time if I'm doing a roof these days. Plain old cheapest gill bore you get. Don't get the fancy ones that have the coating around and all that stuff. They don't work as good. These are, I think, about $5.95 from a hardware store or Home Depot or anywhere like that. The bad thing about it, no matter how good you take care of it, you'll get about 5 or 6 uses out of it, and the darn thing will be corroded. So, you have to buy them kind of in quantity. I figure about $1 a house, $1 a roof depreciation on this nozzle. But it shoots good. Got great distance. See, it's over the cone there. Not by a lot, about a foot or two. But what I like about it, it's real easy to adjust. See, it's got some play, so you got some nice play. So you sit there. If you want a wider spray, it's real easy to hold it. It's not super sensitive. It's got a little more play in it. So you sit there and sweep a roof. You can cover a lot of roof pretty quick with one of these. Or even if you're up there walking, you just go along with it like that. Now, most of the time if I'm walking, I'll use the flat spray on the other one. But you can go along here and put it out. So, but like I said, it's got good distance, good lightweight feel. And there again, it's got the positive action to engage it. Just like I said, if people said, I'm not going to drop my nozzle off the roof or off the ladder. Trust me, it happens. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Everybody's got their own opinion, but like I said, I've got a nice variety of nozzles depending on the situation, what kind of roof I'm doing. And I just want to kind of show you the difference here. That's pretty good reach on this little sucker. For $5.95, it's not bad. These yellow ones, I think, were about $10. That master nozzle's like $65, at least it was 5 or 6 years ago. Then, of course, you got your soft wash gun. These things are pretty expensive, too. This is Sutner, $5.10 or something. I think these things are close to $30. Then you got your fitting for it. Then you got your J-rod for the end of it. So, you probably got 60 or 70 bucks in one of these. So you can go through a lot of these. Just when you get through, be sure and flush it. Soak it with WD-40 or something like that. That seems to do better than anything else. So anyway, hope this helps, give you some different ideas. But I do recommend going, putting that hose adapter on the end of it. It just makes it so much easier. Somewhere you break your nozzle or something like that, something happens to it, you can run pick up one anywhere. So, and I like this stainless one. Like I said, this is my go-to one. It stays on my thing, but it's pretty pricey. So, but like I said, it's great. Like I said, post-treat and things like that. So, anyway, hope this helps. See you guys.